everyone, and welcome back to the For Fun of Knit podcast. My name is Linda, and I am coming to you from South Surrey, just outside of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, that would be. And it's a beautiful sunny day. The weather is fantastic. It's almost 30 degrees Celsius again, which is probably 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So pretty toasty day. Hence, no knitting. I am wearing a tropical t-shirt because it feels very tropical today. So excited about today. So if this is your first time viewing this channel, thank you for giving it a shot. If you're returning, thank you. And guess what we're going to do today? I have got finished objects. I have got some works in progress. I have an acquisition I want to share. But mostly it's my works in progress because I'm going to show them all. And I'm going to go over each one briefly as I can. And then as I work on them, I will go into more depth in future episodes. But it's that time of year. July has come and gone. It is Thursday, August 1st today. Is it Thursday? Yes, it's Thursday, August 1st today. So July just disappeared on me. And so I think it's been 4 weeks since I podcasted. So I can't even believe that it's been that long. So I thought it's probably a good time. I only have 5 months left of the year to take a look at what works in progress I have. And really, how am I going to finish them all? Because I have to say, I kind of went whip happy. I just kind of went whip happy. So if that is your jam, then this is the video for you today. And I am so looking forward to sharing all of it with you. But just before we get into the knitting part, I just want to cover off just a few comments from the last episode, episode 55. So thank you everybody for your comments. I absolutely love having those conversations with you, even if it's only written format or if it's a smiley face or a thumbs up or whatever. Absolutely love it. So first and foremost, thank you everybody for having my back when it comes to the mohair. Turns out I didn't run out of mohair for my Felix. So spoiler alert, that is one of my finished objects today. But thank you. I think I have a list of 6 or 7 places now where I can source different yarns. So thank you for that. I was looking in the last episode for needle minders that will fit on very small needles. And I bought those little stars from, I thought it was Fox and Pine, but they were still big. They were just small needle minders, but for big needles. And apparently I just wasn't looking in the right spot. I have been assured that Fox and Pine does sell needle minders, the needle stoppers for very small needles, as does Coco Knits. So those are the 2 suggestions that came out. Had a really good comment from Debbie. Thank you, Debbie. She was referencing my sock fitting from 2 episodes ago. And I've got a very deep instep, as many of us do, and I am trying to find the best fit. Half of it for me is the exploration in sock knitting. But she was saying that if you're using a heel flapping gusset, measure the center of your ankle bone to the floor, or have somebody do it for you. The center of your ankle bone to the floor, and that depth, for me it's 2.5 inches, is how long you should actually knit your heel flap. That takes the guesswork out of it, because I was thinking with a heel flap, if I knit it deeper, I'll have more room, which is true. But if you knit too much, it'll start bunching, and you don't want that either. So Debbie, thank you for that tip. That was very helpful. And the last comment was just more of an observation. Sue, thank you for noticing. Sue noticed that on my back window bench was this bag. It's a crocheted basket, actually. And it's called the Chunky, what is it called? I always get this wrong. The Chunky Crochet Basket. And it was just a YouTube video. And I absolutely love the stitch pattern. Super simple to make. And the yarns that I used on this were two. I used Lion brand wool ease in sort of a light gray with some black speckles, and the Lion brand mandala ombre. So wool ease, I think, is mostly acrylic with a little bit of wool, and then mandala ombre, I held that double. So I used Lion brand and mandala held double, and this is what I came up with. And so there you go. And in it, I have a whole bunch of stuff, because you can't have enough baskets for stuff. So thank you, Sue, for noticing that that was sitting there. I totally forgot about it. I made it quite a long time ago, so it's not technically a finished object for today. Okay, so let's get started. Where do I start? Okay, let's start with finished objects. First and foremost, and I'm having a hair day, people, I'm having a hair day, I finished my dotted rays. Look, I'm going to just roll back a little bit, but here's my dotted rays. Is this not just lovely? So this is made, and I'm just going to bring it a little closer. This is how I would normally wear such an item. That is how I would normally wear it. But I absolutely love it. And this is knit with schepjes. What yarn was it? Oh, now I have to think about it. Do I even have the band? I had the band. Hang on. Yes, I do. This was knit with schepjes Whirl. This is schepjes Whirl, and it is a Dutch brand, or a brand from the Netherlands, and that's the actual name. And the color was called Raspberry Rocky Roads. And what is fun is this particular yarn, you get 1,000 yards in the skein, and it's all color changing, and there's different types. So there's probably 20 different color changing yarns in this brand. And the Dotted Rays is by Stephen West, and I always put a picture up. But in this particular one, you could have knit two sizes, the small or the large. The small, I think, required 720 yards, which would have been 660 meters, or you could have done the large in 1,200 yards, which was about 1,100 meters. This one came in 1,000 yards, so that's how much I had. So kind of in between, and it is still plenty long. Mine ended up being 80 inches wingspan and 24 inches deep. So this is a shawl that all my knitting peeps and I made for flock. Now, I did hold this double with, what is it called? Make It Tweed. So we held all of our yarn double with Make It Tweed. So that's what gives you this beautiful speckled look. So absolutely love it. That was finished object number 1, and it's an acrylic cotton blend. So really a nice weight and a fabric for summer. So happy that that is done and off my needles, but oh, I absolutely love the colors. So yes, that is finished object number 1. Finished object number 2. I'm kind of dreading showing you because I have to put it on. So let's give this a go, shall we? Let's give this a go. Let's give this a go. I'm going to be so hot. I'm going to be but I feel that it's important to actually model the sweaters when I finish them. This is my Felix and Skews, a t-shirt, and I will stand up in a second. So maybe you can see this a little bit. Move my, there we go. Never mind. I am wearing shorts and a t-shirt, but this is my Felix, and this is by, who is this by? Savoury Knitting, Amy Christoffers from Savoury Knitting. And it is a beautiful sweater, as you can see. I have to read my details. Obviously, the detail that everybody is so infatuated with is obviously these eyelets that go along the raglan. And I am going to talk about that in a minute. And it's long sleeved. It's technically an Aran weight sweater. And you knit it with 5mm and 6mm needles. Now, of course, I made some changes to that, but I love my sleeve length. It's perfect. And I will get into some conversation about it. Notice the yoke depth. I had a bit of trouble with this sweater because it has really deep yoke and then not as wide in the body. So let's talk a little bit about that. So this sweater, I'm boiling now. Oh my gosh, really warm. Really hard to put on a heavy sweater in 30-degree weather. Oh man. But look at this color. I just absolutely love how these yarns work together. Look at that raglan. So nice. And what it is the Rowan silk mohair in the color fuchsia, as well as Drops Kid Silk in the pink colorway. So I held those double with one strand of Malabrigo Rios in the color fuchsia. So that gave it this really nice heathered look, and it's got a beautiful halo, and it is just next to skin soft. It is absolutely lovely. I'm so pleased with how it turned out, and I didn't run out of yarn. Shock of all shocks. Now, one thing or several things, I decided that I didn't like the fabric with the 5 and 6mm needles. I found that was too open and airy. So I actually used the 4mm and the 5mm. So 4mm for the neck and 5mm. The original gauge for this sweater should have been 14 stitches to 20 rows in a 4-inch swatch. Mine ended up being 15 stitches and 23 rows because I use smaller needles, so that makes perfect sense. So because I knew I was actually knitting with smaller needles and my stitch count would be smaller, I did the math. The size I wanted was a 47.5-inch bust, which was size 3. I chose to knit size 5 because of the math, but something went wrong in my calculations. So, and I don't know, and if anybody can think of how I could avoid this in the future, I literally should have stopped I shouldn't have done this last repeat of the raglan. I should have only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 repeats. I have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7. So either, and you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think size 5 has 7 repeats. So I might have just been distracted and knit an extra repeat. I don't know. I'll have to take a look at that. But I should have stopped the raglan increases 1 repeat sooner. So that was one thing. The second thing that I did was I thought the body was going to be too wide, given how wide the yoke was. So I did a few decreases just in the side seams. I did do a faux side seam. You know, that faux pearl stitch all the way down. So I did do a faux side seam. And in retrospect, I shouldn't have done that either because it does accentuate that I've got too much fabric in the raglan. Don't get me wrong. I love this. I will wear this a ton. But you know, you're always thinking about, okay, what would I do differently? Or is, you know, it's not quite 100% in what my mind had. And that's because I brought it in just a little bit down here. And that ended up accentuating that you've got this real dolman look. It actually looks more like dolman sleeves is probably the best way to describe it. But anyway, that is finished object number 2. I absolutely love it. I can't believe I'm knitting winter stuff in the middle of summer, but I'm doing it. And I have this pink theme going on, let me tell you. That is finished object number 2. Finished object number 3, I have to stand back and show you because I'm oh so tickled pink with this finished object. So that would be my crochet granny stripe blanket. And look at this beautiful, I can't show the whole thing. Sorry, you might not be able to hear me properly, but look at this thing. It is stunning. Absolutely stunning. And this was just my very first blanket. It was a trial. I crocheted 300 chains in a 5mm crochet hook. This is very important. And then I held fingering weight yarn double and crocheted double crochets using a 4mm hook. And by using the 5mm hook to cast on, to create my original chain, I didn't get that pulling in at the bottom. So, it turned out beautiful. And I just played with the color. I used all my row 1 minis and a whole bunch of other minis and scraps and everything. And then this blanket is for Patrick. So I asked Patrick, what color would you like the edging? Because I really felt like it needed to have an edging of some sort to make it really look like a finished project. Bless my husband who loves color. He chose this beautiful medium tone turquoisey blue that just goes, I just absolutely love it. You gotta love a guy who loves color. And which is funny because he wears black and gray. But when it comes to my crafting, he loves color. So this is his blanket for Spain. So he's taken that with him when he goes this fall. And that way he can nap to his heart content under a handcrafted, made with love blanket from me. So I cannot wait. I'm starting another one because this is Patrick's blanket. Now I'm going to make me one. And it's going to be a granny stripe because heck, that is when you don't know what else to knit on or craft on. A granny stripe crochet is a great project. Finished object number 4 and the last finished object. And this was a complete whim. Is this actually a finished object? This isn't technically a finished object. So maybe I'm going to actually call this, let's move to works in progress. So I'm just going to warn you now, you might want to take a break, might want to go get another cup of coffee or whatever you're sipping on and settle in because this is going to be quite an ordeal. And I think it's going to be more stressful for me because I'm looking at all these projects going, oh my, I think I really need to make some headway into these projects and stop casting on all the new things, which is so difficult to do. Sorry, I'm having a bad hair day. So this is my baker's hat, and this is, who is this by? My baker's hat is by, and I'll put a picture up. Oh, I didn't write it down. I'll put a picture up here. But this is my baker's hat, and it is, I hope you can see the colors in that. It is beautiful. So this is DK weight yarn held double. And I am using Dragon Horde yarn. So these are the 2 colors. So that's the Dragon Horde yarn. And this is the Ancient Arts yarn. And I'm holding these 2 together. And so what do I have here? I have to look this up. So Dragon Horde yarn. So I think her name is Tristan from Dragon Horde yarn. And this is her Fairy Tale DK, which is 100% superwash merino, and the color's called Pool of Starlight. Now, honestly, I want an entire sweater in this colorway. So I might be reaching out to her and asking if she can dye that up for me, because there's something so wintry and lovely about it. And then the other yarn is Ancient Arts. It is a midnight clear, and this is their 100% merino DK to light worsted. And this is, again, 100% extra fine merino superwash. But these two held together. Now, I also held them together with knitting for olive navy, the silk mohair. I had some left over and I kind of wanted to use it. So I am knitting two things. This is why it is a finished object and it's a work in progress, because from a finished object's perspective, I have my baker's hat, and it's not blocked, but I love this thing. This is absolutely a perfect fit. It's just one size, but it fits from a 19-inch to a 22-inch head. And it's just really, really an easy knit, nice ribbing at the top, then solid stocking stitch, nice decreases, and it fits. It's a lovely hat. And with it, the work in progress part is I want to make some matching fingerless mitts. Mohair. Fingerless mitts. So it's considered to be a set, so it's not really finished until I have my very first pair of fingerless mitts. And I really wanted this for walking in the wintertime, because I just need, and I like a beanie. I like a beanie. I like pom-poms. I do like a toque with a pom-pom. In my mind, the difference between a beanie and a toque is a little bit longer and has a pom-pom on it of some sort, and a beanie just kind of fits your head. Now, I know that's probably not the technical definition, but in my mind, that's how I separate the two. Some people say a beanie and a toque are exactly the same thing. But this is, so the baker's hat, I absolutely love it. And that is a finished object / my first work in progress. Number one. Let's stick with the hats. My second work in progress, and this one has been on the back burner for quite a while. This is the Tiilda hat. Beautiful cables. Look at this. This is a beautiful hat, and I don't know why I have not finished this, but this is a beautiful hat. It's the Tiilda hat. Where are my glasses? It is knit using US 8s. I don't know, I think that's probably a 5mm, not 100% sure. And I am using with yarns held together. So this is Fibre Company Cumbria, which is 60% merino, 30% masham, 10% mohair, and a Surrey alpaca. And this I've had in my stash for so long. It's just a very light dove gray, and I don't have a label for it. I don't know whose it is. But I'm holding these two together, and it is coming up with the Aran weight required for this hat. And oh my God, I absolutely love it. I do not know why I've stopped knitting on this, so I think I'm going to be picking this one up again shortly. So that is whip number 2. Let's see, whip number 3. Shall we go? Do we have any more hats? I don't think I have any more hats. Yay. Let's do some socks. I think I have 6 socks that are whips. So I don't know why I started 6 pairs of socks and haven't finished them, because I'm usually really good with sock knitting. You all will remember this yarn. This is, these yarns were picked out by Patrick for me to knit socks last year, and I never got around to finishing them. And this is actually yarn. It's a deep navy blue, and it is from Les Garçons. And it's their BFL sock, which is 80% BFL, 20% nylon in the Butler colorway. And this is Black Cat custom yarn in the light bright colorway in their luxury sock, which is merino, cashmere, and nylon, and they don't have this base anymore, which I'm so sad about. But this was called, I do believe, their light bright. Where do I see that? Oh yeah, it's called light bright. And I was making with this pair of socks a colorwork pattern called Stained Glass by the Munro sisters. And I knit, this is what's left of my whip. I ripped it back out. You're supposed to knit it on 2.5 millimeter needles, which I was doing, but my color work was getting tighter and tighter and tighter, so I was going to have to go up to a 2.75 millimeter needle. And I thought, no, I just have to go right back down, start over, and really pay attention to my color work. So this is a pair of socks that I love. I want to finish, and they are in my, what is this? In my Qantas bag. She doesn't make bags anymore. But that is, I do believe, work in project number 3. Work in progress number 4 of the same vein was my Lost in Sherwood socks. And Lost in Sherwood, let's take a look. Lost in Sherwood, where was my Lost in Sherwood? My Lost in Sherwood socks are by, I have to do this. My Lost in Sherwood socks are by the Fibre Creative. And I was using 2 skeins of yarn. Again, Patrick picked these out and he put them together. Look at these two. Oh my God. This is the Grocery Girls 2021, I think, colorway called Jingle Balls. And this one is a Camp Fibre Yarns, in the color Boysenberry. Oh my gosh, I love these. These are the socks that I am knitting. Hang on a second, let's see if I can show this to you. Look at those, aren't those gorgeous? So, funny enough, this is also color work, totally different than the other socks, but these socks aren't getting too tight. They're also being knit on 2.25s, but they're not getting too tight. So it's just the type of color work, I guess, that these stitches, I'm using both colors much more often versus having to carry floats. And so my tension must be a lot more comfortable. So the reason I paused with these is I wanted to start the second sock, get it up to this point, and start doing them in tandem. I could never do magic loop 2 at a time because I'd be having 4 balls of yarn that I would then have to be managing, and I thought that would be a little excessive. So I am going to do them in tandem though. So these are on pause until I start the other sock and catch up. And these are being held in one of my favorite Christmas project bags by Sunny Designs, Ingrid of Sunny Designs. So I love that. It's the perfect sock size. That is work in progress number 4. Work in progress number 5 is a pair of Scrappy St. Paddy's Day socks. I am so close to finishing, and these are all the green scraps that I've had. The reason I paused is because I did something strange on this heel that I don't remember what I did, and I have to think about what it was that I did. This is just a very simple vanilla 64 stitch sock, toe up. I knit all the way. I did a, without adding any stitches, a short row shadow wrap short row heel. What I did though is I started doing short rows after the fact. So I knit a couple rounds and then I started doing short rows to raise the heel. And this sock actually fits really, really well. And then I just did ribbing. Once I finished, I joined it all, got a nice stripe, and then I just did a 2x2 ribbing. This sock, I am just at this point where I'm about to do the heel. So I just have to start, and I I didn't count how many short rows I did, so I'm just gonna have to wing it. But these shorty socks are a work in progress, and they're gonna get finished hopefully very soon. That was number 5. Number 6 is this beautiful, beautiful test knit. I knit one sock, and this is for Sassy Strings. And this is a beautiful, beautiful sock. It is a cuff down color work sock, and I absolutely love it. I just have to do the second sock. I did one sock, which was required for the test knit, and I am using Sassy Strings yarn for this project. Do I have the color bands? Yes, I do. I am using Sassy Strings Tranquility. That is, it's called Sassy Sock, which is 75/25, and the color is Tranquility, and it's just this beautiful taupey blush. It's absolutely lovely. And my contrast colors are part La Bien-Aimée Felix and part, what's the other one? Woolberry Fibre Co. So the contrast colors, the soft pink is the La Bien-Aimée Helix, which is a very fine, I should have technically held this double, but I didn't. And then this beautiful Woolberry, it was a mini that I got for one of my advents in the Aragon colorway. Aragorn colorway, and it's beautiful coppers and pinks, and I just absolutely love it. So again, no reason why I did not finish it, either of these socks. I just got distracted onto something else and away I went. But I would love to have both of these sets of socks, and this is being held in my Tangled Stitch by Kelly, my Tangled Stitch bag. The Tangled Stitch, there's her logo, and she sells bags periodically. Has it for a while. She's from the Knits and Pieces podcast or the Knit Chat Cafe on Tuesdays. So Kelly, still love your bags. I keep using them. So that was work in progress number 7. Work in progress number 8. I'm going fast through these because I'm hopefully not boring you to death with all my works in progress. But these are another pair of socks. These are for Patrick. They are, I am just doing a straight vanilla sock for him. It's been a bit of a challenge trying to get the right length because the last socks I made for him were too big. This is just an absolute gong show mess, but he chose this colorway for his socks, which is a Zen Garden colorway, and I'm not 100% sure what it's called, but it's beautiful, and it knits up like Aurora Borealis. Oh my gosh, it's turning out wonderful. And I'm just doing toe up. I am doing a 3x1 rib on the front and on the legs, straight stockinette on the foot, on the underfoot, and then I am doing the short row shadow wrap heel for him. He's got narrower heels and not such a high instep. So we are going to, I might do some short rows in the back on this one as well, just to raise it a bit. But those ones are coming along just fine, and hopefully I'll finish those shortly. But these are again in a Sunny Designed patchwork quilt sock bag. I absolutely love it. Ingrid, thank you so much. So that is work in progress number, I'm losing count, 8. This is number 8. Number 9, which is in a Gray Girls bag, the Little Gray Girl, which I won from Martin. There you go. From Martin's, what is it called? Knit 365. And I am doing, I do believe these are Helen Stewart's Wild Bee socks, and I am knitting it with yarn from Less Traveled Yarn. And what is it called? In the amber colorway. And this is as far as I've gotten. I cast on the cuffs. So, and what I love about Helen Stewart sock patterns is she loves twisted rib. So this is 1x1 twisted rib, which takes a while. So, but because of the same color, I am using the inside and the outside of this beautiful skein of yarn. And these are going to be bee-themed socks. So that is works in progress number 9. And I think that's it for the socks. Yay! That's it for the socks. Okay, let's move on to sweaters. I'm going to show you one I haven't shown you before. Okay, so this is a work in progress that my sister and I both started together. And it is the Hazel jumper by Irene. And I have chosen to knit the Hazel jumper, oh I love this, in a universal yarn called Madly in Love Luxury, and this is their baby alpaca and merino chunky, and it's in the colorway 7G0544 or color 6, I'm not too sure. It doesn't actually have a color, but it's a copper, a really beautiful copper brown. And this is, I will give more details on this particular sweater in another video in terms of what size and all of that. But I love this sweater. Look at how that's turning out. I hope you can see that. It is all over lace work, and you start with the back and then you pick up each shoulder, knit the front panel, pick up the next shoulder, knit the front panel, and then I am just about to join in the round. I'm not quite where I need to be to join in the round, and then you just knit it, and then the sleeves, you just pick up the sleeves and knit them in the round as well. Now my sister did this in a beautiful blush pink. Maybe you'll be able to see that in September. I don't know what she's bringing, but look at that beautiful lace work. And this is from Irene, and this is, I'll show a picture if I haven't already. A nice oversized, very light and airy sweater. So absolutely loving it. And I'm knitting it as per pattern on, what am I using for needles? How come I can't see it on this one? These are 6mm needles, so really fast knit. And again, this was a winter knit that I started in, I think, February or March, and then I just got distracted. But again, want to pick this up because this weight of wool, I think, would go well in a warmer climate as well. When it just gets a little chilly and breezy, I think this would go over very nicely. So that is my Irene's my Hazel jumper, and this is my Stitching the High Notes sweater bag made by Joanna. So that's number 10, I think. Is that number 10? We're gonna go with that, number 10. Number 10, number 11. Number 11 in no particular order, and I've shown this before. I am knitting this with, I don't know how to pronounce it, Gilsk or Gilsk tweed, which is 100% wool, and this is a sport weight tweed in the blue colorway. And I have not progressed since I've shown this to you last, but this is Isabelle Kraemer's crisscross sweater, and I absolutely love this sweater. And again, this is the first, there you go, there's the design just starting to come out, and the design is only on the back of this sweater, but I absolutely love her construction. And I think, what is it called? It's called a contiguous shoulder, where you're knitting the shoulder cap as you go. So no picking up for the sleeves, etc. And absolutely just a different fit, not raglan, not a yoke sweater, not a seamed sweater. It's just absolutely fabulous. And I am knitting this on, I do believe 4.5mm US 6s. I think that's 4 or 4.5. I think it's 4. That's 4. And again, another sweater I would like to finish. I absolutely need another cardigan. It's a cardigan, and I don't know why I got distracted and I have not progressed with it. So that was number 11. Going on to number 12 and moving right along. A completely different, and I will put the pattern designer's name below or with the screen. Some of you who have followed me for a while might remember this, and this is the Anou tank top. And I am making this with Sublime, so Cedar Sublime Isla. Sublime Isla, I hope I can show that to you. There you go, Sublime Isla, which I do believe is 50% bamboo, 50% cotton in the Citron colorway. And I am all the way, why I stopped this, I don't know. There you go. I just get distracted by other things. Look at this beautiful color work. This is just on the side panels, on both sides of the garment. I'm just at the stage where I have to start decreasing. So I do believe I have to put some stitches on hold, and then I have to create the top of the sweater and then put straps. Now this sweater has the option for spaghetti straps or a thicker strap. So I'll be doing the thicker strap, but I love this color. It is absolutely summer weight. Why I didn't finish it in April or May, I have no idea, but absolutely loving it and looking forward to finishing it. Now I do know that cotton and bamboo, it's gonna grow. And probably not a bad thing. Probably not a bad thing, but I do want to make sure I make my straps a little bit shorter than I think I should, so that when it does grow, it doesn't end up, you know, hanging too low. But anyway, that is the Anou, and I will put the designer name below as well. So that was number 12, I do believe. Number 13, and in a similar vein, number 13 is my Pothos tee. Now this one, we're making great progress on this one. But this is the Pothos tee by Beth MacDonald Stone, which I have talked about in my last one. I love this. And I love the construction of this particular sweater. So this is made in Ancient Arts 100% mulberry silk DK weight. And this one, look at the design. That apparently is a vine in Bermuda where Beth lives. That's what she modeled it after. And then what I love is as you're separating for the sleeves, you're doing an I-cord on the sleeves that just rolls up. Sleeve is done. Sleeve is done. And then you have the option, you don't have to, but I've opted to carry the pattern all the way down the sides, just like the previous sweater I was showing you. But what I love about this is once I have done the full body, I just have to do the ribbing and the sweater's finished. So this is a beautiful summer sweater that I think has a beautiful design. It's going to be a beautiful fit. And again, it's 100% silk, so it's going to grow, so I'm okay with that. But I just absolutely, absolutely love, love, love this sweater. And this is, where am I? This is the yarn. It's the Ancient Arts 100% mulberry silk. They don't have it all the time. I bought this as part of their Christmas, 12 Days of Christmas. And this is a DK weight in the Holly Berries colorway, but look at the shine. Now, I am finding that it fuzzes a bit, so it'll be interesting to see how it wears. I'm hopeful that if it does shed a bit or pill, that will settle down once it's been worn and washed a couple times. But that was number 13. Okay, number 14, whip number 14, where am I? Whip number 14 is another festive-like sweater, because this is my festive sweater by Ellie of Skeindeer Knits. And this one, I have so enjoyed making this so far. My whole idea is I am making the pullover and I am steeking it to make a cardigan. Now I chose to do that before I realized she actually had the same pattern in a cardigan. So I don't know if she just released that or she released it after I purchased the pullover. I'm not sure. Needless to say, nevertheless, I am doing the pullover and I am going to steek it. And I had done this whole calculation of trying to do a little bit every month. So come November, end of November, I'd be finished with this sweater. Well, I am way off track. I'm way behind, but look how far I've gotten. I am so excited about this. This is my festive yoke sweater. And I am loving the colors. This is knit in lichen and lace heather sport, which is 100% Canadian wool, and in the gray, in the off-white, in a turquoise, in a copper color, and in their citron color. And I love this. I paused for a little bit because she just came out with that color and I thought, oh, I needed something bright. I wanted something bright. So I've got the snowflake motif, one of the reindeer motifs. I've got the tree motif. My little snowflakes are white. And my fourth color, and I'm undecided if I'm going to do everything in a different color, like just continue on with different colors, or if I'm going to repeat. My next one is aubergine. So this is a beautiful deep purple, which I think is just going to pop against both the teal and the citron. So I'm going to go purple, and then I'm going to go teal, copper, citron, purple, and just keep going with that particular motif. So absolutely loving it. And this is part of my festive sweater make-along, which I have not highlighted at all. So thank you, all of you who are posting photos. There will be prizes at the end of the year. It's a year-long make-along. So in January, I'm going to take a look and I'm going to randomly select from that make-along and from the make-along that is called All Creatures Great and Small. So those hashtags I'll put below in the description box as well. If you are making anything that qualifies under the festive yoke or the All Creatures make-alongs, please post those pictures on Instagram and or on the Ravelry thread, and there are going to be a few prizes at the end of the year. It's just a friendly, fun make-along. You can enter as many times as you like. So there you go. Anyway, and that is held in one of my favorite bags, because it's all about dogs, from the Woolen Frog, Carol of the Woolen Frog. So I've mentioned her before, and there you go. That was that number 13 or number 14? I think that was number 14. I could be wrong. Number 14. Number 15. I've done all these. I've done those. Ooh, I think I'm getting to the end. 15. 15 is held in, whose bag is this? Is this a Bags by Della? I don't know whose bag this is now because there's no label on it. Oh, isn't that strange? Beautiful bag. Love it. I think it's so much fun. And this was going to be Smoke Show, Thea Colman's Smoke Show. So I got this far. The Knitting Posse was doing a knit along on Thea Colman, as was Knits and Pieces. We're doing a vest along, a sleeveless garment along. And I started knitting the Smoke Show vest by Thea Colman. And I don't know why, but I thought this was DK and this is fingering. So I had to stop. That's why. So this is still a work in progress. I still want to knit with it, but I have to find a totally different project. So there you go. That was 15. Number 16. Number 16, moving right along. Number 16, I'm so close, oh my God, is my Astraeus by Bad Wolf Girl Knits. You've seen this a gajillion times, so I won't go into it. Number 16, what's making me pause is because I have to finish color work on the sleeves, and I just didn't feel like color work on this, but I do want to finish it. It's a beautiful cropped little sweater that is going to go over a winter dress, and I love, love, love. This is all different Black Cat custom yarn colors in their Blingtron base, which is their sparkle base, and this is just Plymouth Yarns, which is a worsted weight 100% wool, superwash wool in black. And so I just have to get this underway, finish the sleeves, and then this sweater is done. Yay. And this has been like, it's probably 3 years, 2 years at least, that has been sitting for one reason or another. And again, another cute Christmas project bag with no name. I don't remember where I got it. Okay, that was 15. That was 16. This is 17. And this, of course, is Paddy's sweater. This is Paddy's sweater. So, where am I? I have finished the back. I now just have to start doing the decreases for the front and the neck. And this is a pattern by France de Berge, and it is a broken rib fisherman sweater, and I am knitting it with Drops Charisma. And I just realized I bought some more because I was contemplating doing this again, like ripping it all out again. I know, don't laugh. Because I decided it's supposed to be knit flat, it's supposed to be broken rib, and so you're knitting back and forth, which is slightly different than doing broken rib in the round. And now the sleeves I'm going to have to do in the round, but then I'm going to have to do math to figure out how to what the decreases should be to fit in the armhole. If anybody knows of a tutorial on how to do that, or where best to figure that how to do that out, that would be, is that proper English? If anybody knows of a tutorial that will help me figure it out, a decrease schedule to fit an armhole opening, I would be most appreciative, because I don't even know. That's what's holding me up on this one right now. And this is in a woolen, this is in an I Love You bag by Laura on Vancouver Island. And it's all bears because that's one of Patrick's favorite animals. So I can't remember, I think that was number 17. Number 18, we're getting towards the end. 18, is this 18? Oh, I guess maybe there is only 18. Oh my gosh, there's only 18. This is the last whip, I think. Yes, this is the last whip. This is the last whip. 18. Okay, 18. Oh, nope, that's not true. 19. I've got one more to show you. And this is my, oh, that's not true. There's a few more. Let's do this one. 18. And this is in my Woolen Frogs bag. I love this one. It is Fall Campers. I just love this bag. I am knitting using, I think it's Patton's yarn in a worsted acrylic weight. This is an acrylic sweater. I am making tin can knits. Classic cardigan. This is a sweater I am knitting from one of my best friend's mothers, who is 90 some odd years old and has moved into a new residence home. And my girlfriend just wanted her mom to have a new bright sweater. And so she gave me an old Patton's Croy pattern that was the sweater her mom had. That sweater has worn out, but she wanted me to do the same pattern. And so while I am not about to make a pattern, knit a pattern from 1958 with no details and guess, I decided to combine two things. So I'm combining Tin Can Knits classic cardigan with the 2-row, actually it's a 4-row repeat to get this texture that is from 1958. It's a Patton's actual texture pattern. So which is just a combination of knits and purls, and your purl row is the knit row on the front side, and then every knit row you're doing purl 2, knit 4 in different combinations. And it is turning out just lovely. So I have split for the sleeves. I've got 10 inches to do on the body. Thank goodness my girlfriend had measured the dimensions of the old sweater. So it's still a little bit of a guessing game, but enjoying this knit immensely. So that was 18. Number 19, which is one of the last projects, which I have not knit on at all, is my ICord Christmas Blanket. As a matter of fact, I'm in between rows, as you can see. So what I have been doing is with scraps, I have been using my ICord maker, making ICords, and then, so just making ICords like that. And then every time I get a little bit of an ICord, I join it with like a 3-needle bind off kind of idea, and I knit it. And it's making this very thick, very dense fabric. And once I'm trying to really just get like a 4-foot by 5-foot blanket, lap blanket. I am finding that it's quite dense. So this might end up being a carpet. I might end up backing it with something and making this an actual rug. Because one, it's super lovely. It's super colorful. I think it would be a great addition in any craft room. Might be a wall hanging, who knows? But I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's a way to get rid of those last scraps. So as you can see, it's just a little bit of everything. And again, those ICord makers are fabulous. I just bought it on Amazon, and when I feel like it, I make some ICord, and voila. And I am holding it just in another crochet bag that I just crocheted. I had no idea what I was doing, which is why it's so floppy. But just using all scraps and a big hook, and that's my own homemade project bag. Okay, there is one thing I did want to show you, and that was the last thing, is I have a selection of granny squares, and I didn't know what to do with my selection of granny squares. So I think I'm going to see if I have enough granny squares to make a granny square handbag. I've seen a couple of patterns on Instagram, and I thought, oh, I will give that a try. So I'm not going to show you all the, oh, I have one more project. I lied. So I have one more after this. Where is it? Oh, my computer's on it. I won't show it today. I'll save you. So I have these granny squares, and I have 2 different sizes. So I'm going to do 2 different handbags. I've got this size, which the problem for me is I don't know what hook I used. I know what size hook, so I have to try and figure it out. So I need to make 3 more squares of this size so that I can put them all together and make some sort of a scrappy project bag or handbag. And then I have a whole bunch of this size, which I have enough to actually make a small project bag or handbag. I'm not too sure. So, and I'm glad because I don't remember what hook size I used for these either, but they're so much fun to make. They're so easy. And I thought, okay, well, I should try making something with those because they've just been sitting in this bag doing nothing. So that is something I want to take care of. So that is my last work in progress. July has come and gone, and I did Tour de Fleece. So I just wanted to show you, and I should have done this in finished objects, but I'm a little bit jumbled today. I just want to show you what I accomplished. So I had tried a spinning class last year, so it was 3 classes, and that really didn't take for me. I tried spinning on my own, and I ended up making one strange skein. Do I have that with me anywhere? I don't know if I have it. I don't think I even have it with me. I don't even have it with me. Really bulky. So I thought, Tour de Fleece, I should try spinning 10 minutes every day and then give myself a few challenges. So 1, spinning every day was a challenge. 2, trying to ply yarn was a challenge. And 3, trying to get it as thin as I could. So consistent and thin. And oh my gosh, here's how I started. I started with this type of finish, which is just single ply Corriedale, and it was a lot of fun to spin. And then I moved on to another Corriedale. This is Corriedale that is machine prepped. So this has been machine carded. This was hand carded by Pearly Fibres, where I bought this in flock last year. I bought 4 ounces of beautiful, her own sheep. Then I tried some BFL, was this BFL? I tried some, no, this is Corriedale, again, machine carded by Sweet Georgia Yarns, and again, single ply. Then I tried some silk merino combination. This was beyond my capability. It was way too slippery. This is single ply and super lumpy, super thick and thin. And then I tried the BFL, 100% BFL. Oops, it came out and done. 100% BFL, which started to be a little bit better. But then I realized that my tension, was pulling too fast. So I couldn't slow down my treadling because it was always pulling out of my hand. It was too tight. So I loosened that up. And then I was able to not only, I love this, it's a little bit curly Q because I've had it in a skein, but not only was I able to ply 2 single plies, but then I was able to ply them together and they're relatively even. I'm super stoked about that. Super stoked about this one. And then I did the Tour de Fleece colorway. This is plied, this is 2-plied. It all turned out to be worsted. And this is from, I bought this from Stash Lounge, and it's the Tour de Fleece colorway, and it was called On y va, which let's tour. And then I have that one, obviously. And then I did my, the rest of that Corriedale from Flock, and I plied it. And oh my God, these have turned out to be just super squishy and soft and lovely. And I'm spinning every day. So, was Tour de Fleece a success for me? Yes, it was. I highly recommend, if you have not tried spinning, but you're thinking about it, try, borrow a wheel, rent a wheel. If your friend has a wheel, borrow it and just try spinning 10 minutes a day. It's amazing. You just get better. You think you don't know what you're doing, but you intuitively adjust, change things around, and you get better every single day, which was so amazing for me. I'm loving it, and I find it very, very peaceful. I don't have to, I'm not watching anything, I'm not listening to anything, I'm just spinning, and it is really quite zenish. So if you're thinking about trying it, I highly recommend it. So now that I have gone through all my 20 whips and showed you about my spinning, what next? Well, there's all sorts of things I would love to cast on. I would love to cast on something made with Surrey. And so I have the trellis sweater from Pietrans that I would like to cast on. There's the new Caitlin Hunter pattern, which I'll show up here. Can't remember the name, that just came out today, that I would love to cast on. There are so many patterns that I just want to make everything, but I have 20 beautiful whips, and I think that I'm gonna have to just force myself, maybe just for the next couple of weeks, on seeing what I can finish in my own works in progress and celebrate that. The one cast on I will be doing, because again I'm doing it with my sister, is Imagined Landscapes Make-Along, Gnome Make-Along, and it's called Someone to Write Gnome About. And it starts, so the pattern went on sale today, so we bought the pattern. The actual make-along doesn't start until September 1st, so I'm going to take August to try and catch up on some of my works in progress. But I have 2 cozy knitter colorways, and I haven't decided which one I'm going to use. So there's this one, which is on her Bliss base called Hibiscus. And you're supposed to use a self-striping yarn for this particular gnome. So that is super happy. And it's still Christmassy to me because I love chartreuse and pink at Christmas. So, and then you use an off-white for the beard or gray for the beard. And then there's this one, which is Ho Ho Holiday. Is it Ho Ho Holiday? Yes. Which is very Christmas, which is gray and blue and red. So a few more stripes, a little bit more stripy with this nice matching mini. So that one or that one. I think I'm leaning towards the chartreuse and the pink. But that one's pretty Christmassy too. So I don't know. So that's the only thing I am going to cast on. When it comes to my mitered square blanket, which I will go on in another episode, I will show you the progress on that. I did pick up a few skeins of yarn by a new to me dyer called Fireweed Fibre Co. And again, this is one of those things where Instagram gets you, you know, and she came out with her Christmas in July colorways, and these are them. Look at them. So this, starting with this one, it's Deck the Halls. The center one is called Christmas Tree Farm, and this one is called Holly in the Snow. And so these are all merino cashmere nylon. And I'm just, look at the colors, show you. Absolutely going to be adding these to my mitered square blanket because I've decided I needed a few more colors to get the right size that I wanted. But in my next episode, I will go over all my thought process on my mitered square blanket, as well as show you the progress, but also show you some of the videos that you recommended that I watched, but also that I found on how best to approach my mitered square blanket. So stay tuned for that. But on that note, I think I'm going to stop there. No chatter today, but I will stop there and just say there's so much knitting goodness ahead, so much fiber fun. My friends and I are going to flock next week. Oh my gosh, it's next week already. We finished the cravat. So we all have a cravat. We finished our dotted rays. So those are the garments for the actual flock event. We're so excited. We have so many great plans. We are going for lunch at a tapas restaurant on Bainbridge Island. We are going for an Italian dinner on one of the nights. We are doing the rooftop get-together at Flock. We are going to Chiuli, I think it's called Chiuli, which is a glass museum. We're doing everything we possibly can that's touristy, along with going to the Fibre Festival. So if you are going to Flock, please, I would love to meet you if you are a subscriber and or a watcher of my podcast. And yeah, I would love you to say hello. And I'm looking forward to, there's some podcasters that are going that I'm a fan of, that, you know, so I'm going to fangirl them. So Needles at the Ready, Ray and Kevin will be there. Nitty Natty will be there. There's a couple others, so I'm hoping to catch a glimpse of them. It's kind of fun, you know, it's just, you know, we're all one community and you're a knitter just like I'm a knitter, and I just love meeting all of you. So yeah, hey, say hi if you get a chance. And yeah, I'd love to expand our lovely little group of friends that we meet online. And it's always nice to put a face to a name or to a Instagram handle or whatever. So on that note, I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, a fabulous week, and I look forward to connecting with you sometime, probably late August, just to tell you all about Flock and, I don't know, show you where I'm at with all my whips. Oh my goodness. Okay, on that note, take care everybody, and I will talk to you soon.